Moika!
Hey!
Welcome to our podcast, Mastering Finland.
I'm Jean and I'm from California.
I'm Petra and I'm from the Czech Republic.
We're here to chat about our life in Finland. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, welcome back.
So it's been a hot minute. We really haven't recorded in a really long time, Petra.
Yeah, and especially together. We've done many interviews.
Yes.
But together we haven't done really much, so it's quite nice to do it again.
It is nice. It is nice. But how have you been? How have you been since the last time we recorded together, which was
busy.
during quarantine?
Yeah, very busy. I started my job again back in the kindergarten, and it's been so busy. I don't even know how it's the beginning of October again, to be honest.
It's pretty busy.
Yeah. So it's been going so fast, very busy, and I kind of like it, to be honest. What about you?
Same. I'm in the same boat, also working in a kindergarten. I can't believe it's already October, but I feel like it's time. This year needs to finish like yesterday.
I know.
So,
but now we're getting these like autumny vibes. We have already autumn in Finland, and it started getting like gray again slowly, which I'm not that excited about, to be honest.
I'm not excited about that, but I'm definitely excited about the changing colors of the leaves and
it is very
so
beautiful.
Pretty. Yeah. All right. Well, today we wanted to talk about some of the Facebook posts we've been seeing in various groups that we thought were like either funny or totally relatable, and we just wanted to share some of these with you guys.
Yes, exactly.
So, Petra, did you want to start?
I have one that it's quite like it's funny at the same time, but also serious. So let's see. It was so there was a person who said, I was kicked out from a supermarket because I said out loud that elders should go first in line. What's wrong with the world that still can't understand the message about this virus? Which is like a bit okay. So probably she wanted, there was some old person and she wanted the person to go like in front so they don't have to hang around a lot.
Right. And this was posted when? When would you?
Oh, I don't even know, to be honest, but I think it was maybe month and a half ago. So around beginning of, end of August, I would say.
Okay.
And then the people are replying, probably by the elders who just want to be treated equally. They usually have a hard time accepting any help. And other person said, oh yeah, in Finland, nobody has a patience for others. Respect comes from fairness. A society understanding, meaning nobody should have privileges unless the law or politicians say on TV. I got complaints from my housing company because I had to dump my empty cartons to the cardboard bin after I moved from China, and there were a lot more than local moving in. But law says nothing about the quantity, and that complaint didn't succeed. But still, who would get upset about it? Apparently, Finns are passive-aggressive.
Yeah, I can definitely see how Finnish people can be passive-aggressive. I feel like I have experienced that. And which also kind of confuses me because they're also known for being honest. So it's like, if you were honest, why aren't you just being straight up with me? Because that's what I had thought, how honesty was manifested here. But no, it's not. They do have a tendency to be passive aggressive. And this is speaking very generally, of course. I admit that. And also, I have my passive aggressive tendencies. So I completely relate to them in that sense, too. But yeah, it makes it really difficult to understand them sometimes.
Yeah.
I think so. Like, just it's already hard to understand and connect with them, but then on top of that, there being passive aggressiveness, it's really hard to like read them accurately.
Like, I see the point, and I really enjoy the fact that you have clear rules and you just follow them, and there is no extra space to just sort of interpret it yourself. And there is not this tired, like it's tiring when you all the time have to sort of like adjust and sort of interpret yourself, and people are just using stuff for their own success or purpose, or like having a better life and so on. So here it doesn't work really this way, but at the same time I feel sometimes this like empathy is missing.
Totally.
If somebody is old, and so you just let them go and it's fine and there's no problem. But I did it in shops, for example, a few times. There was somebody who was like either older or they had just like few things in their basket, and I had like a basket full of stuff, and I just was like, yeah, just go, it's fine.
Right.
And people were okay with that. So I don't know. I think it depends. And also it depends who was this person.
Yeah, it all depends
But I would not be loud about it, because the moment you start being loud about something in
That's
Finland,
true. You
like in public space, you are
exactly.
weird.
You're probably gonna lose respect, which I don't disagree with, really. Like, I think things can be handled, at a normal inside voices, as we tell our children.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think it's also just cultural because in some cultures, what they count as like quote unquote normal is in Finnish context is like just super loud. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they are definitely on the quieter side. So I guess it kind of just depends. It's hard to like, yeah, understand this situation entirely because we weren't there, but I think there definitely was probably like a cultural difference also in how things were misinterpreted and stuff.
But that's just how it works, right? I mean, cultural differences are in all of us. And of course, somebody like me who is coming from like Middle Europe, there is some things happening. It's more like lively than in Finland when it comes to, public
mm,
shouting and stuff like that.
yeah,
But it's still not that as you would be, for example, in Italy, where it's like very normal that people are very energetic when it comes to conversations, and they can be loud, and it's sort of normal thing to do.
right.
And it's normal because even like even yesterday I was talking to my boyfriend, and he's English, and we just watched some TV, and there were two people. They got in taxi, and the driver started talking to them about, oh, how was your evening, blah 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 blah. And I was like, why is he asking them? It means like, why? I don't want to share my personal thing with some taxi driver. And he was just like, yeah, it's normal, it's just a small talk. And I was like, yeah, exactly, that's why I could not live there,
Mm,
because I don't know how to react in such situations.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's really funny to me. And when somebody asks me in England, like, oh, are you all right? And I'm like, yes, I don't sort of really get, and it's not the point that they're really asking. So, and then I'm sort of
Yeah, you
trying to
have
get
to.
out of it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really don't know how to deal with it. And it's so
It
funny.
is interesting. Yeah, small talk is like a whole other language.
Yeah, and the longer I've lived in Finland, I think the worse I'm
Oh
being
my
in that
gosh, I
small
totally feel
talkish
you.
thing.
In the previous kindergarten I was at, the manager was telling me, so okay, yeah, like when the parents come, like talk to them, chat with them. I'm like, oh, like small talk. I have to relearn how to do that because I forgot kind of how to do that because you really do because you're trying to, respect the culture here, and I've noticed that I'm starting to kind of lose certain parts of my social skills. Which is like a little
And you know
concerning
what?
for me, but like I'm so much more aware of like social skills now that some
Yeah,
people
yeah,
think of social skills in a different way. And yeah,
yeah.
but yeah.
And you know what? You're not the only one. I know so many people who've lived here for a few years, like, around 4 or 5,
Hmm.
6, whatever. And all of them say the same.
Really.
That they probably would struggle now if they would need to move into some like more, socially expressive and this small talk happening culture where you like really have to socially interact all the
But
time.
when I went to Italy to au pair, remember, like 2 years ago, that was such a breath of fresh air. Like my soul just needed that time in Italy because I came back to myself and like I felt alive again. I could feel my senses and like just I
Oh,
felt like I could feel my humanness. I don't know if anyone understands this, but like I felt like my senses sometimes came here and they just died. To put it very, very bluntly
God.
and sadly, but sometimes I feel that. Like And then
Yeah.
and then you go to a place like Italy and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I totally forgot that I can feel this." And like
Hmm.
it's I don't know, it's amazing. Just
I think it's because this like Finnish culture is very
it
individualistic.
is
So you
to a
have your
fault
family,
sometimes. Mhm.
yeah, you have your family, but over there, and you have your few friends, but that's it. You don't have the need to interact with any other people because you have these few people and you're sort of,
You're set for
manage
life.
well. Yeah,
I get
exactly.
it. I understand. Like I'm an introvert, so like I don't want that many people around me,
Mm,
but at the same time, I'm not opposed to trying to like talk to people
yeah.
even if I don't have intentions of like being best friends with them for life. Like I would
Mm,
like to possibly see if they could be, like I'm not completely closed off to forming other relationships. And I think that's where like the disconnect kind of lies here and where it's makes it very difficult to make Finnish friends. Is like there's just no, like you said, maybe they just don't see a need or there's just no interest at all. But I have to say though, every interaction I've had with a Finnish person on the street, like whether it's me asking questions or anything like that, it's always been very nice and positive.
yeah, I totally agree
I
with
have
that.
not had one single negative experience, and I am grateful for that because I know other people have not had such experiences. And I mean, we see a lot of posts where there have been lots of like racist um, interactions and just all around like, yeah, unpleasant. So yeah, I can't really speak for those negative experiences outside and stuff. But
Yeah, that the same for me.
yeah.
And I mean, I am privileged because I'm super bright color, like pale. I'm pale. Let's be honest. I'm pale. I have no color whatsoever in my skin. So people think I'm Finnish. I
They
don't
do.
think I really necessarily look Finnish as such,
I
but
don't
because
think so,
of
yeah.
the paleness,
Yeah.
it's just sort of you. I could
And
be
you also speak
theoretically.
Finnish, so it's like you kind of
Yeah,
you can like, yeah, kind of
yeah. So
blend
I can
in
sort of,
pretty easily.
yeah, blend in.
Hmm.
Exactly. That's the correct word for
Yes,
that.
yes.
And that's why I've never faced any difficulties. And even like old people, just, like it happened to me so many times that old people stopped me and asked me a question about if I know, for example, I was in a shop,
Hmm.
right? And I was searching through some spices, and there was like old man, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Obviously in Finnish, "I'm sorry. I'm just so lost. I'm looking for this and this. Do you have any clue where it could
Oh.
be?" Which is so, like I would not expect that to happen
Right.
in the shop because people are very like
Individualistic and
just
like
buy themselves
exactly.
clothes, and
Yeah.
he did. And the same happened with like one old woman who was not sure how to find some place like in a city, and she was Finnish,
Uh-huh.
but she asked me, and obviously I replied and everything. And these have been such nice
Yeah,
encounters.
yeah.
And as you said, I also never experienced any like
Negative.
negative
Yeah. Knock on
sort
wood.
of,
Knock on wood, it
yeah.
doesn't happen to us.
Yeah, of
But,
course, of course.
uh, but oh my gosh, I have to tell you something that happened, and this is when the whole Corona stuff started.
Yeah.
Like the whole outbreak started here in Finland. I want to say like sometime in March this happened, but I was waiting at a bus stop for my bus, and this older man, like, yeah, older man was sitting at the bus stop, and he looks at me, and he's like, China? And instantly inside, I'm
Oh,
like, are you serious? Are you going to like, so we're going there right off the bat. You're just going to call me like China. And like, again, this is when the whole coronavirus is happening. And like, there's all kinds of racist stuff happening as a
yeah.
result of that, sadly. And I was like, giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, no, I'm Korean. And he's like, "Oh, Korea. Oh, I watched a movie. It's a Korean movie. And it was Parasite. Have you seen it? It won like a lot of
Yeah.
awards."
No, I have not,
Oh,
but it's on my
it's
list
so
for
good. You have
sure.
to watch it. But he's like, "Oh yeah, I watched a movie." And he's like, I was like, "Oh, is it Parasite?" He's like, "Yeah, Parasite." And then he's telling me about how he knows all this stuff about East Asia. And turns out the older man just like wanted to talk about Asia, which I
Yeah.
was like, I'll take it. I'll take that because, I was expecting something completely like racist or something because he just started
Yeah.
out with China. What am I supposed to what am I supposed to say to that, especially with the whole coronavirus happening? So I'm so glad
Oh
I
my
gave him the
God.
benefit of the doubt and didn't cause like, although I am not the type of person to cause a scene because I don't like attention, but that was like a pleasantly surprising like little chat that I had. I've never had
Oh my
that.
God, that's so good.
It was so funny. And then it was just like, and then my bus came and like it was just short and sweet and just a lovely, lovely interaction I had. And I was, yeah, proud of my Asian heritage when he was like so interested about it. So yeah, that was interesting and a positive experience. So it happens, you guys. It happens. Just wait for a bus and for elderly men who probably need someone to talk to.
But you know what? I think it's been happening to me more often lately, to be honest. I don't know if it's because I'm more out because I'm going to work and back,
Like random
And
interactions.
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And like random people just like showing the niceness, even like in a poser face when I just like messed up something and I was showing the ID and then I was showing one side, but he wanted to see the other side and I was just like twisting it weirdly. And normally you'd not expect anybody to laugh at it, they'll be just annoyed.
Right.
But
But he
he
laughed.
just laughed at it, which was really amazing. He just laughed at it and I started laughing as well. And then I like finally managed to show him the ID on the right side. And and then he went for the package
Mhm.
and he just went back and he just like really smiled and he was like, oh yeah, have a nice day. And I was like, yeah, thanks.
That's funny.
Which was really like a normal encounter that you would expect,
Yeah.
nothing like robotic.
Right. Just a chill, like a normal
Yeah,
response to
yeah, yeah, and it was so nice and
organic.
I was smiling, I just left smiling, it was so
Oh.
good.
It's
Yeah.
really it's such the smallest things here that can make us happy. Like literally the smallest things can turn our day around.
So should we get to the next one then?
Yes, this is probably by far one of my favorite ones. And they're two posts, but it's from the same person. We'll start with the story. So he basically dropped off his Finnish colleague from the office to his home by car. And then the next day, when they met each other in the office, this Finnish colleague didn't even bother to say hello. and, and this person's question
This is so
is
classic.
it totally. This person's question was, is it normal behavior or am I the weird one? Okay, this post got 103 reactions and there's 239 comments and 3 shares on this.
Oh my
So
god.
just to give you a general idea of how popular this issue is among foreigners between Finns, like the social aspect. Yeah, when I saw this, I had to save it because I'm like, we have to talk about this on the podcast because I totally relate because something similar happened to me. I was this was when we were in Uvascula at the University of Uvascula, and we were in a class, and it was a mix of international and Finnish students, and we did like a group project during the class time, and I was with 2 or 3 Finnish girls, and we were like talking and like laughing once in a while, just having fun
Mm.
and getting work done. And then we had to like present our group work. And I thought I was so proud. I was like, I made Finnish friends. Like that was such a great
You thought you did.
that was such a great class. Like just, totally feeling it. And then the next day I come into class. Those 2 Finnish girls were sitting in class already, waiting for class to start. And I come in and I'm like, wanted to say hi because we had a great class yesterday. It's like we had a great date. It's like that kind of thing. Like I
Yeah.
want to, keep talking. But they did not even look at me. Like,
Oh my
and I'm
god.
like trying to make
Yeah, I
eye
don't get
contact, and there was absolutely no acknowledgement. And granted, yes, I could have like gone up to their face and been like hello and like waved my hand in their face, but that's just not
that.
me. So I just kind of like, oh, okay, I guess yesterday was just in my head, and I just like
That's
sat
so
down. But
weird.
I'm assuming that maybe this is how this person felt. Like, I mean, that's a nice thing to do, is to take someone home, and it's weird that you wouldn't acknowledge them the next day.
Yeah. I mean, what were some comments to do you have some comments to that post?
So, yeah, this person said that there's nothing wrong with you. He was just being Finnish. Um, Eh, let's see. People, someone said very normal, get used to it. Another person said normal, and a lot of people are liking those answers. I would
Yeah.
say normal. Only thing is that while driving him, you opened up to him a bit too much, and it was awkward for him. Too honest, too fast, and the
Oh.
guy freaked out. Oh
Well,
my gosh,
I
so
mean, it's not like he
funny.
was asking, like, it's not like he was asking him on a
Exactly.
date.
It's not like they were on it. It's like he's
Oh my god.
proposing to him
You
or
went too
something.
fast on him. I mean,
Yep.
seriously?
And then yeah, there's just a lot of responses saying like, "Yep, it's normal Finnish behavior." Um, but then there's this one Finnish person that wrote, "Are we Finnish like this? In my family, I was raised up to say hello to people and be friendly to everyone, but there are differences. And I know my own children, they would reply quickly, but not start the
Oh, that's
communication. So,
nice.
like, again, please take this with a grain of salt. Like, there are
Yeah,
Finnish
of
people
course.
who are not like this and who are more open, and um,
As we always say, I think
yeah,
that,
it's it's hard not to generalize sometimes when we keep experiencing the same things, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
yeah,
hard
I
not to think
know.
that that's the norm, but also accepting that it is the norm here, and so what? Like, you just have to accept it. Um
Yeah, but I would sort of want to, like, can some of you Finnish people who are listening to us write some sort of guidelines or something?
yes, can you
Like,
please give us a handbook of a manual
like
perhaps?
if that happens, wait for the next 4 days
Yeah,
and then say hello or,
right.
whatever. I don't know. Like, if there was some sort of rule
Yeah,
that we would know about,
yeah.
maybe it would work better
Honestly, I
somehow.
would not be
But,
against a manual. I feel like that would be a great investment. This one other Finnish person said, not normal, it's rude. As a Finn myself, I would find that quite offensive. So you see,
ah.
there are Finnish people who, think otherwise than what is stereotyped. Um,
Yeah, of course. I mean, of course, there are exceptions,
there are
and I've been
exceptions
so
always.
lucky to have many great people, great Finnish people in my life who are nothing like this stereotypical Finn.
How many are they, Petra? How many of those Finnish people do you have?
There are few of them.
Exactly. I could count them all on my
They're like
one hand.
six.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
you need
maybe
to.
up to.
I have three.
I'm
I
lucky.
have
I'm the
three Finnish
lucky one.
friends. I basically made one friend every year that I've been here.
Well, I mean that's good. I've made one. I have the family, my Finnish family, and
Oh,
it counts
that's
for
right.
four.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, let's not make a big deal out of it
That's a big
because it's
one.
one family plus two people.
It is a big deal to
So
have
yeah,
Finnish friends here because it is extremely difficult to get to get through to them,
I mean it makes
honestly.
sense because if you imagine that they grew up, for example, let's say if someone grew up in Helsinki, right?
Mm.
They have their childhood friends and they take them with them, and okay, they meet some friends maybe in school and something, so it's like one or two or three friends from school, let's say. Right. Now they're grown up adults. They sort of maybe divide work. They just do work and they don't really like do this like work friendship stuff. I think also that's a thing here that the work friendship is not really a
That's
big
true.
deal here.
Yeah.
So they have these friends from the childhood. So, and they've spent their whole life with them.
But
So
you
of
could
course
say
they're
that, but
their best
you
friends.
can't you say that about any country? Like, everyone has the
Yeah, I think
same.
you can, but at the same time, in other countries, I think it's more common to be just sort of like dumping, an old friend and just like get a new one. Like in Czech, I think it's a thing.
Oh,
I actually read that somewhere. That is it normal? Is it normal in Czech that people just sort of are friends with you for a long time, and it's a really great friendship, and then it suddenly stops and they just find somebody new, which that's
Huh.
actually a thing that I always experienced. I had like, in a period of my life, I had friends with whom I spent like every day, and now we don't talk anymore.
Oh, interesting. But sometimes I feel like people just start living different lives and it's nothing like it
Yeah.
wasn't anything intentionally supposed to be her. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I do have
But
like
I mean, someone
friends like
mentioned
that.
it in Czech as a culture thing.
Oh, that it like
So,
happens
and
so
I've never,
frequently.
yeah, and I've never noticed
Interesting.
that it was a weird thing. But now I
Yeah.
can see it, because
Huh.
obviously, like here in Finland, it's completely the opposite
Yeah, once they
of
latch on,
what's happening in Czech.
once
Yeah.
you're one, but yeah, that's true. Like they say, once you find a Finnish friend, like they're your friend for life.
Yeah,
And
that's
which is
true.
pretty cool, but like to get to that one friend you're gonna have to like I
Do
don't
lots
know.
of work.
Yeah, jump through
Lots of
a
trial
lot of
periods as well.
socially awkward situations to get to that one friend. But no, I the Finnish friends I have are most of them have some kind of international background.
Yeah,
Like one of
exactly.
them is married to a non-Finnish. The other one, I don't know, just she kind of feels more naturally comfortable with foreigners. And then the other one is like interested in like Asian culture. There's a lot of people here interested in Asian culture.
That's true, though. That's true. I mean, we should keep it for dating episode, and
Uh,
we definitely will. But
that's
I met
true.
so many guys who are so into like Asian girls and
Honestly,
stuff.
even if it was anywhere else, I would be so like ugh, that is so annoying. But in Finland, beggars can't be choosers. I will take anything. If you like me because I'm Asian, like me. I don't care if you like me, you know, because you think I look like an anime character. Go for it. I'll take it. Because
Good job.
because I am not one to be choosing right now because I have no
Yeah.
choices. But yeah, it's so interesting. Yeah, we should definitely talk about that, about like the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
Asia, not obsession, but like
Yeah.
interest
A
and like the
bit.
connection
A
with Japan and
bit.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, moving on to this other post, similar to what the previous one, and actually posted by the same person. He just asked how to interact with local Finns. And
So maybe
yeah,
that's the guideline I asked for.
exactly. So maybe someone should, just look at what people have already said. And some people said these were the responses: learn Finnish. Okay, yeah. Buy them
Okay.
a beer.
Fair
And
enough.
then someone responded to that saying, "But they'll never buy one back."
Oh, that's also
Yeah,
true.
because they don't really pay
I
for each
mean,
other. That's not a
oh yeah,
thing.
but also related to that, sort of. If there is like a part, you plan a party, right? And you are the host, and if it's like Finnish people, like they have this, and the person who is organizing it says like, "Oh, I paid 200 euros for buying this and this and this and this, and we are 10 people, so each of you will pay me 20
Oh,
euros," and it's a
seriously?
normal thing. It's a normal thing. And I would
That
find
is
it so
that is
weird. I would
so
never ask.
strange.
Okay, I get if you are students and you ask, hey, can you bring
Exactly.
some this and this and this?
If
We
it's
did
a
that
potluck,
also, and it's
totally. Yeah.
fine. And also when we like are together, I bring something and you have something, and like it's normal.
Right.
Because obviously, I mean, we are not rich people, but at the same time, it's not like, okay, so I paid for this and this and this and this. So actually, you actually still owe me 5 euros
Right,
for
but
that.
yeah, exactly. But like even what we do, it's like completely different because when you come to someone's house, you don't want to come empty-handed, right? Like that's the
Yeah,
whole thought
exactly.
behind is like I
Yeah,
want to also
exactly.
contribute, not like, oh, how much was the ground beef?
Yeah.
Like let me buy an equivalent amount of dessert.
Yeah,
It's more just like the
exactly.
gesture and the thought, whereas like here
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
calculated. That's so
So
interesting.
weird, isn't it?
But
Like I find it so weird.
yeah,
Yeah, like no offense, but I find it so weird.
that is
And if
weird.
somebody asks me contribute 20 euros, I would be like, okay, I will do, but I never visit you again. I
Yeah,
mean, sorry.
that's really strange. Maybe that's like just a different mentality.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really
but
weird.
yeah, it's probably related. That's why I remember that just right now, because it's related to this beer. Like I buy you one, you buy
Yeah,
me
but you'll
one.
not buy you won't buy one back. Um,
This is really weird.
yeah. So yeah, buy them beer, karaoke, but I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Someone said don't talk,
Oh my god.
and that one got responses. Um, this one person, he's obviously kidding. He's like, don't interact with the local ones. They are quite dangerous and have been known to bite. Use extreme caution when approaching. Obviously, he's kidding because, yeah, lots of people were laughing at that. Someone said, just sit quietly.
Oh my god.
So you guys get the idea. You just don't do anything. Don't overthink it. You just have to sit there and hope that keep your fingers crossed and hope that like something magical happens. Like maybe some
Oh my
fairy dust
god.
gets
Fairy dust gets
yes,
spread on
and
you and
magic
then suddenly
happens.
get connected and it's all good.
Someone said look at their shoes.
Oh
This one.
god.
I always find getting drunk gets works a treat, but you may not remember who you interacted with.
Yeah,
And
exactly. But you know what? That happened to me many times when I was doing my Erasmus. Now I don't really party, so I'm like, not really into it anymore. But during my Erasmus, obviously, I was quite outgoing, and I met so many different people during these nights because everybody was like happy and drunk and stuff.
Mhm.
And then you even exchange contacts, right?
Mhm.
And they asked you. I never asked. And then when you are like the next day, and you are like, "Hey, it was fun,
Yeah.
whatever." Nothing.
They're like, "Who are you
Nothing.
again?" It's like the
No, they don't even ask you who are
they
you.
just look at you.
Nothing.
It's like they got hit with that stick in Men in Black, where they erase your
Yeah,
memory.
yeah, I
Like,
think
huh?
so.
Um,
Or if they do reply, they're like very awkward, and then you are just like, "Ooh, I think I'm gonna just leave it."
oh, I could feel
Because
the awkward tension just from the story because I
yeah,
felt that before. But this one other person said, if you're talking about casual interaction, small talk tends to be more annoying than helpful. Talk about things that matter to you or them. Trivial chatter is unnecessary and frustrating. To that, I will say, what am I supposed to be like? Hey, stranger, tell me about your life story. Where were you born? Like,
yeah.
what's you know what I'm talking about? Like, I know small talk is annoying, but it kind of leads and opens to a deeper and more meaningful conversation.
And I think there are like two types of small talk. There is the annoying one that when I go to England, I'm like, oh my god, I don't know how to
That's
react to
true.
this, and
Sometimes,
it's very
right,
uncomfortable.
right.
But then there's the other small talk when you sort of naturally get to the other topics, right?
Exactly. But you have to start somewhere. You don't just from the
Yeah,
get
yeah, yeah,
go,
exactly.
like, start
All
asking
right,
people.
let's sit down and start with your birth and how was it?
Yes, tell me about your deepest, darkest secrets. What are you afraid of? What are your yeah. So honestly, I still don't know. I don't know how to make friends with a Finnish person. Like,
And you know what? I am okay with that. I've got you. I've got few other people. And to be honest, I don't have time for more people right now.
yeah,
So
sometimes
I think I can deal with it.
you just
Of course, if I
gotta
was
settle.
just sat at home and like had nothing to do, I would be in completely different situation. But since the work has become like, big part of my life, it's fine. I get all the interaction there with the kids,
Exactly.
with my colleagues,
Yeah.
or even with the parents.
Which
And I
are
don't need
all
any
which
extra
are
people.
all from international backgrounds, correct? For
There
the
are some
most
Finnish
part.
ones.
Yeah, but then they're
We
like
have
married
like
to
half
international
Finnish.
people. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
See,
yeah. But we
see,
have one,
yeah.
like, I call it pure blood. Sorry for,
Yeah.
Harry Potter reference, pure blood
Yeah.
kid. We have 100% Finnish kid, but that's the
But
only
see, the
one.
fact that they chose to send them to an international kindergarten already shows that
Yeah.
they have, some level of comfort, I'm assuming,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So yeah, my point being of like my Finnish friends, the only Finnish friends that I have all have some kind of international
Yeah,
interest or
mine too.
background.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if it's just like you said, pure blood Finn, I'm not
Yeah.
sure we would ever connect in this lifetime or universe,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Totally. My friends all have like Erasmus background, international friends gained through some whatever places or traveled a lot because of their jobs
Mm,
and so on and so on. So
yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, sorry, one more person, one more because it is, I think, true. They said they must be drunk and speak good enough English. Like there's a
Yeah.
reason these responses keep repeating themselves. It's because there is an ounce of truth to it. Like I'll say
Mm.
grams since we're in metric land, but
Yeah, please. I don't understand these things.
there
Don't
is
use that.
a
Not allowed.
a milligram of truth to these repeating answers. And again, like, we're not going to generalize, but sometimes when you keep experiencing it over and over again, you start thinking it's just how it is and it's normal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So we are looking forward to hearing from Finns about how is that. And please, Finns, also you Finns, you are welcome on our podcast. So if somebody of you Finnish people want to share your story and your sides onto that, please contact us. We will be very happy to have you.
yes, it would be great to just hear it from a Finnish person straight up. Yes. All right. Well, those were my favorite posts that I had
Yeah, that was
saved
good.
like ages ago.
I think we sort of covered like the most typical stuff within these, 2 or 3 posts, which is
Yeah,
quite nice.
totally. These are like very common like issues and experiences. So, yeah, that was
Good.
really fun. Glad we got to
Yeah, and if you
share
have, if you people find some other interesting stuff or posts, or you have some thoughts that you would want to share with us, we will definitely do some a similar episode like this one
Yeah.
at some point in the future. So we will be glad to get some sort of tips and ideas
Yes.
on what you struggle with, or what you like, or
Find
what
awkward.
is the yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.